Thank you so much, Marty. I'm a structural biochemist by trade. I run my family office and have been in biotech for the last 22 years with a number of exits. One of my exits, I had a 200 plus X exit with Receptos. And, I've been working in the oncology space for a number of years. I lost both my aunts, in one to lung cancer and one to pancreatic cancer. And looking in the space, I wanted something from a family office perspective where I could affect the space and move it forward. And I looked in January Therapeutics, which is using the natural power of albumin, which delivers all your lipids and all your vitamins today. So I wanted to use that. And going into the presentation, I wanted to show what we had the ability to do. And being an investor, my family fund has linked up and syndicated with a number of other family funds to bring this opportunity. And we ran into Marty and thought this would be something that's applicable. And Marty, if you could share the screen.
You're sharing the screen, is that right?
Okay, I'll share the screen, no problem. Great. So January Therapeutics, we make novel albumin encapsulated drugs. I'm going to give an overview. What is albumin? Albumin is your most produced protein in your body, 10 to 15 grams per day. Albumin also is a food source. So what we're using it as a Trojan horse. We get to use it to take the drugs and encapsulate them and put them towards the tumors. This is not something new, but what we've done is taken technology, which just like the rotary phone, we've made an iPhone, or similar to Tesla. They didn't start the car, but they improved the car to an electric car. So what we have is a robust platform that can optimize the distribution, minimize the toxicity. What we see with cancer drugs is the drug can be equally or as bad to the system as cancer itself. What I've put together, and I've put together before, is a small agile team with 20 years of experience. And we look at it, what's the business rationale? We look at the business rationale. Abraxane is a drug that's sold by Bristol Myers Squibb, formerly of Celgene. It's selling $1.2 billion per year. It was bought in with Abraxis Biosciences by Celgene for $2.9 billion. And the question is why didn't they take that opportunity? Unfortunately, most small molecules are incompatible with albumin. They just don't mix. There's limitations on the particle size, which we have engineered for better delivery. And so we look at it, the innovation with January Therapeutics is we modify the small molecules to enable the albumin encapsulation. So this opens it up, instead of being less than 1% of the drugs, opens it up to 99% of the drugs. So we have the ability to change the delivery and the tumor distribution to control the particle size, the shape, and optimize it for tissue penetration. So what's our core competencies? Our core competencies is using tumor biology and biology to see where drugs that have limitations by toxicity and exposure and systemic issues. And we can use that to overcome the weaknesses of the drug, but use it with the strengths of the albumin nanoparticles. Then we can take the chemistry that doesn't always work with albumin, we modify that, and we then take it to an optimized particle, a nanoparticle, less than 100 nanometers. We use AI and neural link development for enabling our system-driven engineering. And so basically we're integrating biology, chemistry, and engineering to create novel and new products that both have enhanced efficacy and safety profiles. So what are the components of of January. So our approach looks at, say this is BCL2. This is an area that big pharma, we have venetoclax, which is a $2 billion drug. We look at some of the targets that's clinically proven mechanisms. We modify the chemistry. And then again, we're able to make an albumin nanoparticle, not just a standard nanoparticle, but using the body's own proteins, we can encapsulate the small molecules, which gives us pharmacokinetic advantages. Basically, we can modulate the time and the release of the drug itself. And since albumin is taken up 10x by the tumor, we're doing a Trojan horse and delivering it right to the tumor. So how does this work in tumors? So what happens is we're able to optimize the small molecule payloads, which are encapsulated. So as you saw before, the nanoparticles, we can stuff between 50 and 100 pieces of drug into the encapsulation. So what does that lead to? With the encapsulation, we have the ability to control the size. We have the ability to get through the endothelial cells, which is sort of the outside layer. And because of our size optimization, we can also get through the leaky vessels. And we have a CAV1, which is a caveola mediated endocytosis, which means that we can get into the tumor cells itself. So if one mechanism of transport doesn't work, we can add other mechanisms, which is the caveola and the GP60. So our pipeline today, we have a JNTX101 nucleoside, which is based on gemcitabine, which is currently given to 1.2 million patients. And it's a rare orphan disease in sarcomas. It's also a key drug in ovarian. It's standard of care in pancreatic and in lung cancer. In lung cancer, 66% of patients second tier are getting gemcitabine. The other, we've partnered with City of Hope with Dr. Steve Rosen on a nucleoside 8-chloroadenosine that he's led currently with 21 patients with a 90% reduction in blasts in AML. And then we've also have a program in BCL2. So the business summary. So currently we've raised $6.5 million. We have $500,000 left on our note, and we are starting our Series A. We've had some investors interested in leading our Series A, which we're going to do a Series A at about $40 million $40 million raise, and then $100 million for a Series B and IPO. We've seen other companies in the space like Biomea in the last 6 months. They did a Series A, they did a crossover round, and they went IPO in 6 months. We've seen this with Kinate, also do this last year in less than a year. So, you know, this is something we're looking to do the same. What we have is Wilson Sonsini has done a patent clearance over 700 different patents on our portfolio today. And we did a patent clearance, and Wilson is also an investor in January Therapeutics. They liked the idea. They thought this would be something good for their portfolio. So the leadership team, and team is the most important in biotech. So myself, I have over 48 patents. I have 20 years of business and building teams. Dan Manville, who's our CSO, 25 years of experience. He was the VP or CSO of Halozyme before joining us. Halozyme's a $6 billion platform company. He was a key contributor to Herceptin, which is about a $7 billion drug. We have Don Rendell, who was previously at Bristol Myers Squibb. Neil Rahasia. Kurt Monig has over 29 INDs and 10 NDAs. He worked on Allergan doing Botox, which is an albumin small molecule. We have Jackie Walling, who is our CMO, who did Gemzar, Alemta, and Telizopreb with BioMarin and Eli Lilly. which are 3 blockbuster drugs. And then Steve Rosen, who's the CSO of City of Hope, who is our chief medical advisor. We're working closely with City of Hope for recruiting patients and working together. So in our key advisors, Bruce Roth invented Lipitor and was the director of Genentech chemistry. David Carbone runs the James Thoracic Center, is an expert in lung cancer. Gary Schwartz is the deputy director of Columbia University, an expert in sarcoma. John Nuss has 3 blockbuster drugs and formerly ran Exelixis. Mark Simon is the co-founder of Terea and has done about $50 billion worth of deals in biotech. Mike Hostetler shaped our strategy and is one of the heads of IP for Wilson Sonsini. And David Webb was the former CSO of Celgene San Diego. And Mark Folletta is the former CFO of Amylin and is on Dexcom and AMN International. So, what we're looking to January now is we've got about $500,000 left on our note. We're starting our Series A. We've got about 14 months worth of runway, which is good enough for doing our Series A. And we're looking for other family offices that are interested in the oncology space in helping us move to the next level.
Fantastic. Just give me 1 second here. Sam, we do not have much time left. Can you just give us like a good summary, takeaways of what we should be thinking about when looking at this deal? I know that you've invested a lot of your own capital in it, and that you're a very successful, as you said, family office, and that you're part of a group of investors, an angel investor network in San Diego as well. So can you just give us, some background on your own, personal investment and time into this, as well as
sure
as the takeaway?
Yeah, the takeaway is, look, we're going to be doing a Series A in the next 3 months. We're already negotiating term. We have a good convertible note that's a $25 million cap with a 20% discount. It's mostly filled, and we're looking for the right last family fund to join us. And with the Series A, we'll probably look for something between 2 and 3x on our money from the note, and something that we can grow towards an IPO. And with biotech today, I feel like family offices, my family office divides it between real estate, businesses, and we've been doing very well in the biotech market.
Fantastic, Sam. Well, listen,